Oh, hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know who it is, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and worst tracks of the week, all listed right here, linked down there in the description box, so you guys can listen to all of them for yourselves. And yeah, doesn't get much more straightforward than that. Of course, I have to mention a few things first. Let's get out of the way the fact that this October, I'm going on tour. Some West Coast dates, some East Coast dates. We do talks, we do jokes, we do silly stuff, we do meme stuff, we do Q&A, there's merch, there's a meet and greet, sort of at the end after the Q&A and everything. So I've done, well over a dozen of these things so far in the U.S., in Australia. They always come packed. They always come fun. We always have a good time when we do one. Haven't really met anybody who didn't have a good time at one of these things so far. And it's also kind of really exciting to have all of you guys in the same place at the same time, because it's rare that you have such a large group of people so passionate about music in one space. So again, check these dates over on this poster down here. There's a link down there in the description. If you get tickets now, it's cheaper than you would pay if you waited to sort of buy them at the door. And a lot of these venues, it's not super big, super duper big maximum capacities. So I don't know, over the next few months, these might sell out. I don't know. I'm just putting them out there, and I don't know what any of the ticket sales are so far. We're going to see. But yeah, hit them up, get some tickets, mark it on your calendar, bring a friend, and we're going to have a good time. All right. Also, our Amazon Associates link is down there. If you live in the U.S., click on it. Anything you were going to buy anyway on Amazon, just buy it. We're going to get kickback from it. Supports the segment, supports the show. Easy as that. Again, whatever you were going to buy anyway, just click on the link, brings you to the front page, and it's working. It's there, as long as you live in the U.S. We have a similar thing going on with the good people over at Turntable Lab, where once you click on the link down there in the description and you purchase a record, some colorful pressing of a record that I've covered on the channel, or maybe some audio equipment like a turntable or some speakers or something, we get kickback from that, and that's going to be that. Let's get into the worst tracks of the week. Again, all those links are down there. Hit them up. Tickets, tickets, tickets. All right, first off, let's kick it off with Weezer. Unfortunately, a new track out titled Mexican Fender. Originally, I kind of had this in the meh category, but the more that I thought about it, the more I really kind of dislike this track. I don't know, it's just kind of generic Weezer. Super sugary, super hyper bland, in my opinion, in the grander scheme of their catalog. Feels almost like they're kind of going back to make-believe a little bit. Rivers kind of has this tendency to write songs that are sort of assembled from these lyrics that are just random ideas that don't actually come together and say anything. And sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. This is one of those instances where I really don't think it does. I think it actually kind of works against the song to be as nonsensical as it is. It really kind of communicates nothing. And as far as the guitars and the chord progression, there's really not much going on here that's all that interesting. And it seems like the little bit of an edge that that Weezer gained with their last album has sort of dissolved a little bit with this new track over here, as well as that last track that had kind of the EDM sort of instrumental behind it. I am not looking forward to this new Weezer LP. None of the singles have been all that good in my opinion. And I don't know, man. It's going to be really disappointing to sort of bounce back from the White Album into a bad Weezer record. But that's what I'm sort of anticipating at this point. Neck Deep. This new Neck Deep song titled In Bloom, not really all that impressed with it, and not getting exactly why everybody's recommending that I listen to the band's new record. It just kind of sounds like bland, run-of-the-mill, emo-tinged pop punk to me. There's nothing really all that interesting about the lyrics, nothing really all that interesting about the production or the instrumentation. It just seems really kind of dime a dozen, to the point where it's semi-nauseating. Moving on from there, new Chris Brown song, Questions. Do I need to explain it? It's not very good. The best part of the song is the refrain that he rips off from another better song halfway into the track. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. New ASAP Mob track over here, titled Feels So Good. this song is pretty much exactly the reason why ASAP Mob, when they come together, they're like less than the sum of their parts, because I don't know. I don't think ASAP Ferg and ASAP Rocky, as much as I like them, I don't think they complement each other that much a lot of the time, especially on this track. And the sort of talent gap between Ferg and Rocky and the rest of the crew is just so large. I mean, the moment that I hear almost any other member of ASAP Mob rapping, I want to go to sleep. There is ice melting, grass growing, paint drying, and ASAP 12E rapping. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the Met tracks. Tracks that I wasn't crazy about, but certainly were worth mentioning. The new Rich Chigga song, Glow Like That. Rich Chigga comes through with a song over here where he's legit trying to pen a love song here. Some of the lyrics I think are a little lackluster, like not quite as endearing or as heartfelt as I probably would have liked out of a song going in this direction from Chigga, but it does have a nice vibe to it. The instrumental's cool. His deep his deep voice and smooth flow do the song a lot of favors, as they usually do on every single track he does. And yeah, just kind of generally enjoying it. Not crazy about it, but it is a nice tune. Shows some versatility. New LCD Soundsystem single, Tonite. I will say this song was measurably better than the last two LCD Soundsystem tracks that I thought were really mediocre, and to me have felt even more mediocre the longer I sort of get away from the release of those tracks. This new one over here starts much better, has a very punchy, funky electro synth bass line that is very nice. James Murphy's vocals seem really impassioned, and it seems like he's going to, really kind of live up to the standard that the band has set in the past. The drum beat is very nice as well, but like with those previously released tracks, the groove and the instrumental gets stale as the song plods along, though there is kind of a nice finish. And James Murphy, yet again, just really doesn't have much to say. Like, his lyrics aren't funny, they're not clever, they're not very observant, they're not poignant, they're not witty, they just kind of feel like filler, and there are some songs like, for example, Pow Pow, where it seems like Murphy is really all over the place and not really trying to say anything all that coherent. But even in moments like that, there was still kind of this sense of wackiness or fun or randomness, or I don't know, just irony enjoyable irony to what he was doing there. And on this track, it just doesn't seem to be the case. I'm just not sort of getting exactly what the band is getting at. It seems like they're trying to force something at this point, in my opinion. Moving on from there, a new track from KMD, of all things, the defunct hip-hop group that once featured MF Doom under another name, of course, obviously, has a new track out titled True Lightyears featuring J Electronica. I'm not exactly sure what makes this a KMD track. Is it the production? I don't really know. It's nice to hear that Doom and Jay have some very cool lyrical chemistry as they kind of trade off, back and forth a little bit on this new track over here. But the structure isn't really there. The instrumental's kind of underwhelming. To hear Jay and Doom on the same track is pretty much the only thing that makes this track exciting. And again, like, to kind of call this a KMD song, it seems a little disingenuous, to be completely fair. New Gucci Mane song over here, featuring Migos, of course. Migos really kind of take on the whole front end of the song, and Gucci kind of cleans up at the back. It's a decent track. They've collaborated a few times before, and in my opinion, this is not the most electrifying collaboration they've done, but, it is kind of a nice product. They definitely complement each other's style. Moving on from there, Ariel Pink, Feels Like Heaven. Not the best single I think Ariel has released in this new album cycle of his. It kind of has a very washy, low-key, almost new romantic synth pop sort of vibe to it that it's kind of pleasant. It's not usually the style or sound I enjoy hearing Ariel indulge in, and I don't really think it sort of plays to a lot of his strengths. And I think he tones down some of the eccentricities in his vocals a little bit because he doesn't quite sound like himself, but he certainly does the sound and style justice. I just don't know if it's doing him justice, I guess. And finally, I will shout out the new Alvvays track, Plimsoll Punks, which honestly, listen, this song could grow on me in context of the entire record because I do think this is the best single the band has released so far. And the more singles I hear from this forthcoming record, the more passionate the lead vocals are, the more engaging and captivating the guitar work is, and the more it seems like the band is actually focusing on their craft of songwriting than just kind of getting lost in reverby effects, which previously was kind of my issue with their previous material. Alvvays, not one of my favorite bands out there right now, obviously, but they could come into their own on this record over here, and I'm hoping that ends up being the case. All right, let's get into the tracks that really kind of hit me, left an impact on me this week. First off, the new Tera Mellow song, Trash Generator. This is exactly how I like my math rock over here. It's kind of weird, it's progressive, it's left field, it's crazy. Some of the grooves and time signature work is just like really freaking odd. The lyrics are freaking weird. I just really like the strange attitude the band is bringing to the table on this new track over here, and hope you enjoy it too. Got to give a shout out to the new Protomartyr track. I'm not going to say too much about it because the album is coming out pretty soon, and I've already talked about a few of their previous songs, but these guys have a very low down, dirty, dark post-punk sound that I enjoy quite a bit. It continues on to this new track over here again, which I highly recommend. Not going to talk a lot about this new track over here as well because the new Brockhampton is coming out very, very soon. Don't want to spoil too many thoughts on this new track and this forthcoming record. However, Saturation 2, I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting good things. Saturation 1 was amazing. Could be my favorite hip-hop project of the year. Please do look up Brockhampton Saturation if you have not already. And once you've listened to that, get hype and get ready for Saturation 2 because it's coming out very soon. Very, very soon. Coming out this month. August 25th, I believe. And this, again, latest single, fantastic track. Kevin Abstract fucking kills it on this song, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Want to give a shout out to the new Converge track, Under Duress. This track, to me, felt less like Converge by the numbers in comparison with their last track. The riffs were heavier. I thought that the band sort of added some interesting dynamics to the song. It didn't just kind of feel like they were kind of blazing through the track as aggressively as possible and just kind of leaving it at that. Really kind of felt like they added and wove some interesting passages into this song to kind of balance out the faster, more aggressive moments quite a bit. And honestly, that and sort of the brutality and the noisiness and the harshness of Converge's music, those things, in my opinion, are truly what makes Converge a special band. So to kind of hear those elements return in a strong way on this new track over here was good. I want to give a shout out to Clipping, who have a new song out titled The Deep, a track that I highly recommend if you enjoyed their last album. I'm not sure how many people will enjoy this track who didn't like the new album or didn't hear the new album. The thing about the new record is that it's a concept record, a runaway slave on a space slave ship stranded in the middle of some galaxy somewhere. That's literally the concept. It's insane. It's crazy. However, it's incredibly creative. It is... as far as from a narrative perspective, amazing. From a production perspective, like really colorful, really textured, really insane. That a lot of the beats like try to give the listener this sense that they're inside of a spaceship or in space. And this new single over here pretty much carries with those sonic themes and carries with those narrative themes too, because a lot of what David is rapping on this track sort of harkens back to a lot of the storyline and the details from that new album. So, there's kind of like obviously there's a narrative connection there that kind of extends the storyline. It's almost like a bit of an epilogue or something, if you will. It just like kind of adds more to the story, sort of connects some more dots and highlights some more information for people who may have had questions like I did coming away from the album. Like, how did this happen or how did that happen? Or, what did this person think? Or like what exactly is sort of the context or sort of give more of a deeper context for this. So give a listen to this track, especially if you loved that new Clipping album. I want to give a shout out to the new Seat Headrest song, which is titled War is Coming If You Want It. This is one of a handful of songs that came out this past week sort of in response to the violence that had gone down at Charlottesville, Virginia, during that rally where you saw a clash of Nazis and KKK members and the alt-right with, Antifa and leftists, and unfortunately that poor woman Heather was killed, rest in peace. This is one of the songs that sort of came out in response to that. Wilco dropped one as well. However, out of all the songs that sort of got dropped, this was easily my favorite. Will kind of really pulled together a great track here. I don't know how much of it had been written prior to all of this, or if this was written 100% in response to the thing, instrumentally and lyrically. It is a pretty powerful track, and instrumentally, I do think it's one of his more interesting songs. Hopefully he continues sort of progressing. I think he's doing some really interesting sort of almost progressive sort of passages and structures with his tracks. Like, his songs are really deep and multifaceted and thoughtful, and I love that he sort of continues to grow into that. I want to give a shout out to The Body and Full of Hell, who have a new collaborative record on the way, believe it or not. Their last collaborative album I thought was pretty good, and this new track over here titled Earth is a Cage is pretty much exactly why that collaborative record was so good, and exemplifies once again why when these two come together and they collab on a track, like, it's so good. I feel like Full of Hell brings a certain aggression and viscera and just momentum to a track that The Body doesn't typically have. Certainly they're heavy, certainly they're loud, but I wouldn't exactly call their music throttling. And The Body brings a certain texture and sound and noisiness to Full of Hell's music that I don't feel like they have on their own. They complement each other really well, and it feels like they're kind of growing together on this new track over here, because it is thunderous, it is thundering, it's thunder, 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 it's hellish, it's heavy, it's so abrasive and ugly, it is so bone-crushing, soul-crushing, every piece of your body being crushed down to the molecule. It's powerful, it's just enveloping, it's claustrophobic, how just in your face it is, just kind of really just surrounds you and smothers you with its ugly, oppressive sounds. Don't miss it, because again, it's powerful, it's heavy. And that is going to be the last track, I believe, that I wanted to reference here, and that's going to be it. So again, all these songs are down there in the description. Don't miss out on them, especially the best ones. Met tracks are pretty good. The worst tracks, out of morbid curiosity, do what you got to do. Also, hit up that Turntable Lab link, like I said. Amazon Associates link, shout out to that again. Click on that link. Anything you buy on Amazon, we get kickback from it. And once again, I'm on tour in October. Set those calendars, set those clocks, set that set. Hit up Siri, be like, hey Siri, I'm going to go see Anthony Fantano on the stage. Put it on my calendar. Thank you. And Siri's going to be like, hell yeah. All right. Again, check out those dates. Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Jose, Brooklyn, Massachusetts, Connecticut. We're everywhere. We are everywhere. All right, man. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hit up all those links. They're all down there in the description. Thank you very much. Forever.